Hi guys, and welcome back to another lesson in Algebra 1. This is Unit 3, Lesson 10, and it is Association and Causation. This is one of those topics that also crosses over nicely to science, so you might see this in your science class as well. So the first objective is that we know what association and causation are and how to identify them, and then you can compare them in real-world problems. So I had already typed, what would fill in the blank here. Association, this is where your independent and dependent variables may change together, but the reason that they are changing together is due to chance, bias, or some other factor. And you may even call that a confounding factor. It's a factor that is affecting the situation, and we want to make sure that the results that we see are actually due to what we're investigating. So, an example of association is there are more shark attacks and more ice cream sales during summer. Well, it is true that during summer, there's going to be more shark attacks and more ice cream sales, but the shark attacks don't cause the ice cream sales to happen. It's caused by another external factor, a confounding factor. It's the fact that it's summer. So, because it's summertime, more people go swimming, therefore, they can be attacked by a shark. Or during the summer, it's warmer and people are more likely to buy ice cream. Okay? So that is an example of association. Now, causation is where the independent variable is going to cause the dependent variable. There is a clear relationship. So let me go ahead and type in what's going to go in these blanks. So the independent variable directly causes the the dependent to change. I was busy thinking about changing this color here. Okay, so the independent variable directly causes the dependent variable to change. There is a clear cause and effect relationship. So, an example of this would be exercising regularly increases muscle strength. Okay, there may be other factors that can affect, muscle strength, such as genetics or diet. But in this particular case, when we are looking at it, exercise clearly can increase muscle strength. And so that would be a causal relationship rather than just an association. Well, let's look at what this is, what this looks like, down here in these examples. And if I'm going too fast, just be sure and pause it. Okay, so in example 1, it says a student studies more for a test and their score usually increases. Is this association or causation? Okay, well, if somebody is studying for an exam, it's probably going to cause their grade to increase. So this would be a causation because studying directly helps students learn the material, which causes the test scores to increase. Okay, so that makes sense. Well, let's look at this next one. It says, as the number of firefighters at a fire increases, the amount of damage also increases. Is this association or causation? Okay, so let's think about this carefully. So if we have the number of firefighters, does this directly cause the amount of damage? And the answer is no. I mean, those are not, the number of firefighters does not cause more damage. So this would be an example of association. So let's go ahead and type something out about that. So large fires cause more firefighters to respond to the fire. Large fires also have more damage. Okay, so it's not that the firefighters themselves caused the extra damage. It's the fact that the fire was just clearly larger to begin with. And science is constantly having to work out situations like this, like with medicine and with the body, of trying to decide, is something causing the result, or is it due to something else? Okay, so another example here is when a person eats more sugary foods, the number of cavities they get increases. Is this association or causation? And this is clearly causation, because, you eat more sugary foods, and that is likely to lead to more cavities. I should have probably typed that. It's easier to read my writing when I type. So if you eat more sugary foods, that's likely to lead to more cavities. Why? Well, the sugar is a food source for the bacteria on your teeth. And so then the bacteria grow because they have this nice abundant food source from all the sugar. And then the bacteria, oopsie, they also ruin your teeth and cause cavities. Alrighty, let's look at this next one, where it says as the number of people at the beach increases, so does the amount of trash collected. Is this association or causation? So if it is causation, does the number of people at the beach cause the amount of trash collected to increase? And you could say that yes, okay, that does create a causal relationship. So let's, so this is causation. So let me go type that out. Okay, so more people at the beach means that there is likely more trash to occur. Okay, so it makes sense that that would go together. So let's go ahead and I'll change colors on this, and then we'll go to the next one. All right. Okay, when a driver presses the gas pedal, the car speed increases. Is this an example of association or causation? And so this is very clearly a very clear-cut causation, right? If you press that gas pedal more, you're going to go faster. So this is causation because the gas pedal causes more gas to flow to the engine and make the car go faster. So I'll go change colors on this so it stands out a little bit. All right. And then our final example here, we have cities with more movie theaters tend to have more traffic. Is this an example of association or causation? So let's think about this just for a second. Does the movie theater, if we have more movie theaters, does it cause more traffic? Whoops, traffic. Does it cause more traffic directly? And the answer is no. Okay, so that would be an example of association. Movie theaters are not directly causing traffic. There's going to be another reason for that. So, this is association because bigger cities tend to have more traffic and tend to have more movie theaters. So the factor that's affecting this, which is that third external factor, is just going to be city size. Okay. So smaller cities would have less traffic and less movie theaters, and bigger cities would tend to have more traffic and tend to have more movie theaters. So this whole lesson, you're going to be looking to see, does one directly cause the other, or do they tend to happen together because of a third reason? If it tends to be because of a third reason, it's going to be association. If it directly causes it, it's going to be causation. Okay, I hope that helps, guys. Until next time, bye.